Welcome back. For the first time in almost 2 months, President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke by phone today as the Middle East remains on edge for a potential escalation in the region. Vice President Harris also participated in the phone call, which the White House says lasted about 30 minutes. According to the White House, during the call, President Biden reaffirmed his commitment to Israel's security, but the official readout from the call made no specific mention of Israel's anticipated retaliatory response. Until the phone call today, U.S. officials tell NBC News that Israeli leaders had not briefed the U.S. on the specific details of their retaliatory response against Iran, even as the Pentagon discussed the possibility of supporting any potential military action. Joining me now is Erin McLaughlin, who's live in Tel Aviv for us. So, Erin, what more do we know about this call between President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Hey there, Kristen. Well, it did come up today during the White House briefing. We heard from the press secretary say that the call lasted around 30 minutes. She said that it was, quote, direct and productive conversation, adding that the Israeli potential response to Iran's last week missile strike did come up during that call, but no further specifics. We know, we heard from President Biden last week say that he did not want to negotiate with the Israelis on this topic in public. He did say, though, that officials, U.S. officials, were in constant contact with their Israeli counterparts about a potential response, and he did publicly say that he opposes any potential strike on Iran's nuclear facilities and would counsel against Israel striking Iran's oil fields. But beyond that, at this point, in terms of this response, it remains very much an open question. Details in terms of what was discussed is few and far between.
And Erin, what reporting do you have about the potential timing of a retaliatory response, if in fact there is one?
Yeah, well, remember, in the wake of that massive missile strike, what Israeli officials are calling the largest missile strike ever in Israel's history, Israeli officials were promising a strong response. They were promising a swift response. It has been 7 days, and still it's unclear the timing of all of this. We know in terms of that next step, the cabinet would need to approve any potential strikes. As far as we know, no cabinet meeting has been scheduled as yet. Also worth noting in terms of that timing, the last time that Israel launched a retaliatory strike, it was about 5 days after the Iran missile strike. That was back in April. But this time around, Israeli officials are promising a much stronger response. We did hear from the Israeli defense minister earlier today promising a surprise. He was briefing an intelligence unit saying, quote, just as we have been doing until now in the war, on all other fronts, whoever attacks us will be hurt and will pay a price. Our attack will be deadly, precise, and above all surprising. They will not understand what happened and how it happened. They will see the results. So an ominous warning there from the Israeli defense minister today.
Oh, indeed it is. Erin, what is the latest on the ground in Lebanon, the status of the fighting there?
You know, by all accounts, the Israeli operation there appears to be expanding. That was announced earlier in the week. The Israeli military previously concentrating their ground operations on the western portion of the border, now expanding those operations to the east, still considered by them to be limited operations in nature. But there was just a State Department briefing where Matt Miller raised some concerns about the potential for Operation Creep, something that the U.S. has long been worried about. He said, quote, he is cognizant of the long history of Israel, starting with limited ground operations, turning into more full-scale ground operations, turning into occupation, and that's something that we are very clear we are opposed to. U.S. officials also coming out strongly against the Prime Minister's address to the Lebanese people. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last night issuing a warning to the Lebanese people to avoid a Gazification sort of Lebanon. U.S. officials saying they are absolutely against that kind of language and that kind of threat, really. Kristen.
Some strong language there coming from the U.S. as the world waits to see what Israel does next. Erin McLaughlin, thank you. Please stay safe, my friend. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.